Today, we're diving into a mic that's designed for gamers, streamers, and content creators alike. That's right, the FIFINE AmpliGame AM8 dynamic gaming microphone. It's stylish, feature-packed, and budget-friendly. But is it actually worth your money? Let's find out. Right out of the box, the AM8 impresses with a clean design. It has a sturdy metal base, a shock mount, and a pop filter, and of course, the RGB lighting that screams gamer aesthetic. It ships pre-assembled. Just unbox and go, or swap to your favorite boom arm thanks to its 3/8 and 5/8 design right there. A little hard to tell, but it is a little bit deeper there, so that way you can just fit the thread through. What I like is that it's not just all show. The mic feels premium without being overpriced. It definitely doesn't look or feel like a budget microphone. The AM8 comes with both USB and XLR connectivity, which is pretty rare at this price point. This means you can plug it directly into your PC or run it through a mixer for more control. You also get a mute button, gain button, and a live headphone monitoring jack. Having both USB and XLR in one mic is a huge plus. Perfect if you're just starting off but want room to upgrade later. This is a dynamic cardioid mic with a frequency response from 50 Hz to 16 kHz. That means warmth, clarity, and solid background noise reduction, exactly what gamers need and want. This is what the AM8 sounds like straight out of the box using USB, no filters, no post-processing. I think it sounds pretty good, but I'll leave that up to you guys as well. The sound is warm and clear with minimal background noise. It's a cardioid pickup pattern, so it naturally rejects sounds from the sides and the back. Ideal for streamers and voice work. The RGB is customizable with a button on the mic, letting you cycle through colors and modes. While you can't sync it with software like Razer Synapse or IQ, it still adds a nice visual touch to your setup, and it is easier to use because of that. So let's break it down. Some of the pros include a dual USB XLR support, clean detailed sound, solid build and design, built-in pop filter and shock mount. RGB lighting adds some personality, and you can buy it in 3 different colors. They have the black, a pink, and a white, all of which I think look really, really nice. So then what are the cons? Well, to start off, the RGB isn't software controllable, which may be a con for some of you. There's no software suite for tweaking EQ or presets, and it has a fixed cardioid pattern, so no switchable polar modes. For under $100, the FIFINE AmpliGame AM8 punches way above its weight class. Whether you're using it for streaming, podcasting, or gaming with friends, it delivers pro-level sounds without the pro-level price. If you're looking to level up your setup without breaking the bank, this mic deserves a spot on your shortlist. All right, so it has actually been about 2 weeks now since I got this mic, and there's a couple of things that I wanted to touch upon now that I've gotten more time to use it. Keep in mind, the first part of the video that you watched was probably only a few days after getting the mic, and so I went into it kind of more with a raw experience, versus now, this is a little bit more time to really get to know this mic. I'm gonna be using the mic for the rest of this segment, so that way you can get an idea of how this audio really is. And one key difference that I'm gonna make for this one is the audio is only gonna be through USB-C to USB-C, and I'm not using an XLR, which should deliver better audio quality, and it does with this mic. However, I think it's important to talk more about the USB-C aspect of it, since I think more of you, and I could be wrong about this, but I assume more of you who are looking at this video, who are thinking about buying this mic, are probably thinking about the ease of getting into using a budget microphone. Maybe you're trying to get into podcasting, maybe you're trying to get more into live streaming, and you don't want to spend too much extra to get into that phase, because it can be a bit of a barrier. So this is what the audio is going to sound like with no added filters, no editing, just purely raw audio. And this is with the USB-C specifically. USB-C to USB-C going into my camera right now. I actually don't really like how this audio sounds. Is it the worst? No. Is it the best? Absolutely not. I would say this would be on the lower end of quality for raw output. Now, if you were to add some editing onto the audio, this is what it can sound like. I do think it sounds better once it has some of these little fine tunings done to it. However, I feel like for someone who's a beginner, this may not be necessarily the best, because that does require you to learn how to maybe edit a little bit of audio, or at least add filters depending on what you use for editing your audio or for live streaming. I know personally when I first got into live streaming, which I've done a little bit of when I got more into video editing, audio has been one of my Achilles heel. It still is, which is why I generally try not to edit my audio if I can help it. And so a mic like this, I don't know if for someone who is more of a beginner, if it's really the best choice. Price point wise, yes, I do think it is. But if you don't have any skills, or if you just don't want to have to deal with the whole audio editing experience, maybe this isn't right for you. Those are just my thoughts. Of course, you guys can correct me in the comments. Overall, I do think most of my other points still stand with this microphone. One other thing that kind of bothers me is the fact that it doesn't come with the XLR cable when you buy this mic. So you actually have to buy another cable if you want that better audio quality, which I just think is ruining that budget price a little bit. Now, the cable is not super expensive, but it is something else you have to get, and that might be a turnoff for some of you. One other thing that I kind of wanted to mention, and now the audio is going to be a little hard for you to hear from me because I'm going to have to kind of mess with the mic, but if you look, I have to keep the mic at an angle in order to use it because of the cable. Because sure, I can get it pretty much flat, almost flat here, but now it's stuck because of the wire jutting out. So that might not be super ideal for some of you. I know for me, it kind of bothers me a little bit. You can buy an angled USB cable that clicks in and then curves out, so that way it's not really an issue. But again, that's something else you would have to buy. And I don't know if that's something you'd want to do. I'll try to include links for the different cables that I'm speaking of in the description below for those of you who might want to do that additional investment. But if you're okay with how the mic stands now, of course, go ahead and buy it as is. And I hope this little edit proves to be somewhat helpful for you if you are considering buying this mic. If you found this review helpful, drop a like and subscribe for more gear reviews just like this. Got questions about the AM8? Hit me up in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.